Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Warspite for you. I got Nelson, Kedrov, and Dmitry Dewey. Good inspirations for battleships. If you don't have Nelson, which most of you guys won't, the question then becomes, do you want to use Cunningham or Madden? Now, British battleships, some of the best heals in the game. Getting 1 to 2 more of those on Madden, quite profitable. The problem is when we're leveling up our commanders as a whole, viewing it kind of as like your entire Navy's resources, Cunningham, especially if we're going purely free to play, that's going to be one of the more valuable battleships. You got Paulo Emilio for the reload, you got Kedrov, turret traverse. Cunningham kind of enhances the aim in terms of the shell grouping, and there's maybe 1 or 2 other ones that you would maybe consider using in most cases. But if we're going to put a lot of points into Cunningham because we want to use them as an inspiration on a lot of different lines, which was my approach when I first started playing the game, well, then the question becomes, do we want to just level up Cunningham, make him really strong as a British battleship commander and an inspiration? Or do we want to level both of them up, effectively going from a 5 weeks worth of resources minimum? That's if you got all the premium tiers, premium ships, you're getting your premium supplies done. You want to double that, 10 to 12 weeks, whatever it's going to be. So, I mean, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of resources to be put in these. So that's why my approach was, I'm just going to go with Cunningham. Madden's inspiration, pretty much worthless. You don't believe me? Actually try and compare it with, put Jellicoe on whatever ship you want to compare, turret traverse, reload, whatever it is. And then take him off, put Madden on, and you'll see, okay, turret traverse increased by like 1 or 2 seconds. Not that huge of a thing when your turret traverse is in the 50s. So, I don't know. That's my advice would still be Cunningham, but I've also said, I think Madden probably would be the better commander for the line. But if I didn't have Scharnhorst, which I do use in a fair amount of the builds, that Scharnhorst commander boosts the dispersion. Cunningham, grouping. All right, so in fact, Cunningham was my first commander that I got up to 16 level 4 legendary. So that's kind of the debate. You guys let me know in the comments what you think on that. But this is one of the harder lines in the game to pick. Who do I want to use as the commander? Getting in the game here, capture the base mode, neighbors. Now I elect to, we're in the middle spawn here. If I'm in the middle spawn this map, I will always play the island side. 99 out of 100 times, barring something very strange coming up. Why that is we got a lot of cover over here versus basically minimal cover. And you can see where those blue ships are. If they want to come to this side of the map, they have to cross a huge swatch of open sea, which is very tough to do. So this is much more valuable, especially when there's no caps here. Then there's really no reason to be playing that all said. We're down a couple cruisers. They're down 1 here. I'm trying to blow this Gorky up to even it up. But you can see they only have 1 battleship. California. We have 2, which is kind of an advantage. One of the things you always want to do when we're starting the game, evaluate the rosters, and then see, is there any class where we only have 1 or maybe 2 ships of? That's when the value of those ships go up. So battleships in general, lowest value ships in the game. Their abilities are more randomized than most of the other classes, so consistency tends to be a problem for battleships. Okay, but in this situation, there's 1 battleship, there's a lot of cruisers, and the battleship is the biggest threat to the cruisers, so the California's value goes way up. Another reason the battleships tend to be lower value is because usually most games you got 5 or 6 of them per team, and again, it's kind of the converse of if you have 1 ship of a certain type of class, then it's really valuable. If you have a lot of them, if we have 5 destroyers, 5 battleships, then they're really not worth much at all. Doesn't matter if we lose 1 or 2 of them at least. It's not going to have a huge impact on the game. Jervis, we're trying to take off here. They got 3 destroyers. Look at the disparity in ships, though. We're already down 4 ships. They've only lost 1. This is becoming a problem very quickly. You can see we're down over 250 points to open the match. We're only 4 minutes in, so not the best start from the blue team, but not a surprising start. Pretty typical from what we're going to see with the random teammates. Trying to get some stuff done here. Now we got a broadside London, broadside Dallas. Here I'm thinking, well, and of course, if we can get the Jervis, I'd like to take him out. But, like, let's say we hit that London, who's going to be my next target, I think. I could either take the Dallas off, get the guns off, yes, or if we whack the London, maybe we can kill him in one hit, or if not, hopefully we can prepare him for anyone on our team to sink him really rapidly, and that's what we do there. We take him down by about 20 grand, give or take, 25, whatever it was, and now he's more like, he's not quite a one-shot, except for like a battleship shooting at him, but he's pretty low. He can go down pretty quickly at this point in time, so trying to do what we can do, trying to get out of this hole here. Pensacola getting torped. I think he had shots in the Jervis. It was unfortunate. This Pensacola's not going to be in the mood to shoot destroyers throughout this match, which is going to make it more and more difficult. There goes the London, and keeping an eye on this California, trying to angle against him. He is the primary damage-dealing threat to us, so we need to be aware of when he can shoot us. Now that he's behind the island there, we can kind of change our direction, show the broadside in that direction because he can't shoot through the island, and reposition. And note, basically, most of the, looks like all the known ships are kind of on the eastern side of the map at this point in time. They do have a couple destroyers on the loose, and I feel like we just had a neighbors game a couple weeks ago where similar situation. Destroyers had kind of unimpeded access to the base. Now, capture the base mode, you tend to have more interesting, there's more variables, or it's a little bit less, it's more nuanced in terms of the strategy you want to play. Like domination mode, get the caps, control a flank, control the center, you win the game more often than not, right? Pretty straightforward once you figure out how to play the game. But this mode, capture the base mode, well, you can lose games where we're up. We can be up 9 ships to 1, and they can lose, or we can lose that game. If they get the one ship on our base, we don't get back in time to reset him, then we can lose that game. All right, so you don't want to get into positions where we're going to allow that to happen. And how that basically plays out is you, as someone who understands the importance of defending the base, you kind of have to take it on yourself. Sometimes I will attack the base if I'm really forward, a lot farther forward than my team. Then I'll try and cap or pressure the base at least, which is the equivalent of putting the team in check. Okay. They're on our base, we have to go back and respond. We're on their base, they have to go back and respond. If either team elects to not do so, they'll automatically lose the game. But the carrier is going to do a very good job here. Now, note the Pensacola shooting the California, and I'm going to continue to shoot at this California just to free up the Pensacola's mind, because he's actually sailing towards the cap. He's within striking distance of these destroyers, but he's refusing to shoot at them. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, we got to get this California off the board now. Number one, it's a big threat to me, yes, but not as big of a threat as these two destroyers who are threatening to win the game. If they both get under cloud cover and they capture the base, due to the fact that they have two destroyers on there very quickly, they could actually win this game now. Pensacola is gunned down by the Mayhem. That's not a good sign. He does get him with his dying breath or whatever, but yeah, we're in some serious trouble here. You can see our destroyer, who's on their cap, just got taken off by their cruiser, and now this game is not looking good. We do have one destroyer as well. He's just been kind of sitting where he is for as long as I can remember. I don't know what he's doing. He's now in full on. I'm going to go hunt the carrier mode, which is not going to be, you know, that's the least profitable play I can possibly draw up at this point in time. Need to get back and take care of these destroyers. Okay. Once they're dead, they're going to have a built-in background lead. That's one of the advantages of getting on the cap and capture the base mode. Every 5 seconds, their lead in the background is going up by 2. And if they're on there for a minute or two, then they're going to have a 30, 40 point kind of built-in tiebreaker where if we even it up on ships, we're still going to lose the game. So it's still a good play to be on this cap for these guys, and we need to get them off there as quickly as possible. Fubuki's he's trying to nuke the carrier, doing the old cap and screen play where he's got the Mayhem on the base. He can go forward spot and maybe hit the carrier, I think was the thinking. Not a horrible play, but again, I think if they both utilize smoke cover and rapidly capture that base, I actually think they're going to win this game here. So you can see the base is now half captured. That's a problem. We do have our own, I think it's a skip bomber. I'm pretty sure it's the Serov Tier 5 Russian. We'll see as this go on. But yeah, he actually hit him there, it looks like. So this is one, the carriers, the Soviet carriers are very good at kind of blind firing the smoke. Now, I have liked to take a shot there as well. That was probably not the smartest. But I knew Mahan, he's got the short range torp, so even if we push into him, you see how we got spotted when we shot. That's the smoke fire penalty. The consequences of that aren't really that real. Now, if the Mahan's paying attention to this game, he would probably want to figure out if he can get away from the cap, because at this point in time, there's a chance he can capture this base, but his 2-minute long smoke is now dissipating. You should be keeping an eye on that. There goes the Bull Void. No big deal. He wasn't doing anything of value. But the Mahan, can he survive or not? That's going to determine, can they win this game or not? Because if he can get out of there without the carrier hunting them down, then they once again have that built-in background lead. You can see they're up 100 points, even though, you know, they got an extra destroyer. I mean, it's tough to do the conversion because they got a destroyer cruiser. We got a battleship, and, you know, the carrier, with Red having a carrier as well. So, anyway, there you can see it now. Okay, 30 points, background lead. Probably about 15 points of that or so, 15 or 20 points of that is due to them being on the base for as long as they were. All right, so that's how that works. So we're forced to push in them. Once again, if the carrier and the cruiser can get away from us, and they need to be getting as far away as possible, then it's possible for them to win the game. If they elect to push into us and we kill them, then that's a throw. That would be a disastrous play. But whether or not we can catch them is going to be the interesting part. Now, the Warspite is a super... It's one of my favorite ships. Super accurate, very dangerous guns, but it's still pretty slow. You can see we're up to 23 knots, which I guess is not horrible for Tier 5, but you're going to have a hard time gaining ground on people if they're trying to stay away from you. So Gorky comes up here. The carrier spots him first. Shots away. We're going to see if we can take him out here. And if we do take him out, we would actually be in the lead at that point in time. So, again, there's no reason for the Gorky to come over here. He's not going to kill us both. Not with 5,000 health. The carrier can kill him. Or certainly I can, since I'm still alive as well. So that's a bit of an issue there, but this is kind of what you got to be paying attention to when we're playing these Capture the Base mode games, okay? We went back. We got our base defended. Basically, the flow of the Capture the Base should be this. You clear your side, whatever flank you're on. Okay, so we cleared the eastern side. Then we went back to defend the base. Luckily, we had the spotting and the support from the carrier. Otherwise, we would have failed at that mission. But that's kind of step 2. And then step 3, figure out what do we need to do to win. Can we get on their base? Can we sink all the ships? Whatever it takes. That's what you're going to have to do. But my recommendation, do whatever you're going to do for the first 5 minutes and then go back to defend the base until you're sure, okay, they're not going to win by capturing the base. Because it's really the most kind of a disappointing game mode in the game where, okay, we're up 3-4 ships, lose the game. What happened? Oof. You don't want to be in that situation. So Gorky does go down, and now we're up by about 50 points, and now the carrier forced to kill us. Well, we got 24,000. It's 2 minutes. It's not really going to... I mean, you could say, why don't you run away at this point in time? It's not really going to slow him down, right? If he wants to bomb us, which of course he's going to want to do, well, there's not much we can do to prevent that, right? But we do have our carrier moving into the position to spot him. He's going to try and do some damage, and of course I'm going to be trying to chime in with my own guns. These nice, accurate Warspite guns. And there's the Ryujo, and we're getting all the guns on his position. And we'll see what we can do against him. Get a decent opening blow there. Looks like we might have missed a shot, and oh, we got him with the Citadel on the final one there, so not too bad. He's down to about half his health. There's the Serov Torp spread. Light damage torps, but a lot of them in the water, and now he's in trouble. He's down to about 5,000 health, and that was a lot of work to pull that game out of the fire. All right, there's a lot of ways we could have lost that game, but because, you know, we're doing our job, capture the base mode, wound up pulling it off. So good job to the carrier and good job to the Warspite, I'd say. That's it for that one, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave below. Love to hear from you, and we'll see you all later. Peace.